Hi, welcome to Car Mechanical, and today I'm going to show you how to replace the rear drop links on your Audi A4 B6. So we're going to be using my 2003 Advant as an example here, and we're going to go in and I'm just going to show you the jacking point I'm using first. This is the rear lower control arm. So we're going to take the alloy cover off, we're going to take off the wheel nuts, so we're going to slacken them off, we're going to jack the car up, place the jack stand under it, and then we're going to get going. So whilst I'm doing this on screen, I just want to talk through a couple of things on this job. So I'm doing both of the rear drop links, and the reason for this is basically the car failed its MOT on both due to excessive play, and I'm going to be switching back and forth in the video for various reasons, mainly because of it was a complete pain because of how old they were and how stiff they were. So as we take the wheel off of the car now, it's all jacked up and in place. Let's also just talk about some of the things just to pay attention to whilst I'm doing this job. Typically, things like this when you see them in some videos, you undo a couple of bolts, you take the part off, you put them on, and it's all fun and games. It doesn't always work like that, I'm afraid, and this is one of the things I'm going to show in this video. So just showing the drop link there, so it's got the one bolt on top that we're going to undo using two spanners and the two bolts underneath. Now, before we do undo the on top part, we're going to clean it off with a wire brush. We're going to put some penetrating oil in there in a second as well. Now ideally I could have done this the day before, which would have probably helped with what will happen in a minute. But what we're going to do is we're going to use a 18mm and a 16mm spanner, and you're going to turn them against each other to slacken the bolt off. So one of them you can rest against the upper or the lower control arm. Now what I'm doing here, jumping a few steps ahead because we've already been trying that, it's not undoing, so we're using a jack to try and break the lock on the nut or on the bolt even, and it doesn't work. So what happens is that the nut itself, it shears and it breaks, so it just comes straight out. Now on the other side things work, I'll show you how we managed to get around that. So what we're doing is the same thing, 18mm spanner that goes on the inside, and we're using a variety of different socket bits to get the right angle to get over the control arm. And we're going to try it at first with a ratchet, and you're also going to see us trying it again with the spanners, but also with a 3-foot breaker bar, and that should give you plenty of torque to be able to undo it and plenty of leverage, but it just turns out to be a complete pain. And this is one of the things I wanted to show in this video, is that I'm saying it again as I did in the beginning, but simple jobs sometimes they don't end up being as simple as you would hope for. This is literally a 3-bolt job, and it just isn't playing out like it should do. Now with the breaker bar part here that we're doing, I just want to point two things out. We both struggled with this, both myself and my friend. Now I'm a 15 stone 95 kg guy, and my friend is a bigger guy as well. He's stronger than myself, I'm about your average person's strength, and we both struggled with this. It just wasn't undoing even with all this leverage. So as we go back over to doing this with the spanners, I'm just going to go quiet here whilst my friend undoes this part. And that is my friend putting in an unreal amount of effort and finally cracking this nut off. And you know, this is doing this from the floor underneath the car on jack stands. Sometimes things like this can be a pain, but now it has undone. We've got that 18mm spanner against the lower control arm, not letting it turn against itself there, and then we've got the socket just undoing it, and that would work with a ratcheting spanner or a typical spanner as well. You just have to keep doing it. And we're now ready to undo the bottom of the drop link as well. So the two bottom bolts are 13mm bolts. You can undo them with a ratchet, you can undo them with a ratcheting spanner or a spanner or whatever you've got. You've got nice easy access here, and whatever tools you use, you know, you should be nice and easy to undo this within 30 seconds and it's out. So undo both sides, then turn it 90 degrees and pull the drop link out, and then you're ready to put the new one in. Now I'm just going to give you a better angle of how this turns and comes out from the other side, even though I'll brute force things a bit. So once it's loose, it'll pull down, and then I don't turn it sideways here, but you should do. However, you can just brute it down like I have, and it's probably struggling because of the sheared bolt that's still partially stuck in it. But that will then just pull down and you're ready to put the new ones in. So here's the old manky ones, and here's the nice new ones. So we're actually using some new bolts on the top. So they're slightly different cut. We've cut down from longer ones with some thread lock and some washers to put them in nicely. And we're going to reuse the bottom bolts. However, I might swap those over in the future, just so I've got something nice and fresh in there. So put in the drop link in, you can see I've turned it 90 degrees and it just slides up. And then you're going to line up the bolt at the top and thread that in by hand. And then we're going to go over to the sockets again. So to start with, you can use a ratcheting spanner if you want. And then you're going to need your 18mm on the inside just to hold it still. And then you're going to use your ratchet to tighten it all into place. So once we've done that, we can then actually go in from underneath. Now, just get this nice and tight before you do go underneath. It may not be quite in the right place at first. Okay, so there's your top bit done. But because the top bit's done, we should be about where we need to be here, but you might need to use a jack or you might need to maneuver things around a little bit. But when you put your two 13mm in as well, do them up a little bit each side and walk it on its way up, because if you do it on one side, you'll either bend things or you might end up cross-threading the other bolt. But if you walk it up slowly, you'll end up with this, and the job is all done and finished. Right, so as I pack away here, I'm just going to talk through the end of the job and my thoughts and opinions on everything. So the two drop links were £45. Now you can see that there was some effort here, and yep, the garage may have been able to do this a lot quicker on a stand with a bigger array of tools. However, £45 and no labour, this was done within a couple of hours. It means I've probably saved a couple of £100 on the total cost of the job. Maybe a cheaper garage would have been able to do this for £150 including parts. I wouldn't want to think about what Audi would charge for this kind of job. I hope you found this video useful. If you have, please leave a like, please leave any comments in the comment section down below. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please hit the subscribe button, and more than anything, thank you for watching.